Hi, Sam.
Good morning.
I was on the wrong link at first.
No worries. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I went to send an email reminder and realized that I was on the other link. So I hope nobody got a message saying they couldn't get in because I was in another Zoom on my account.
You're entitled to make mistakes once in a while.
Yeah, I guess
Just
as long as it doesn't lock people out. Hold
how
on.
you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Trying to get rid of this damn flu bug that hit me,
Oh, yikes.
and I'm trying to avoid, I guess, going out and being around people that are coughing and sneezing all over the place is
Yeah.
catching up.
How'd it go when you went to the real estate office last week?
It was good. I met with about 14 realtors, passed out business cards, talked to them about next. A few of them have already done business with Next. A lot of them didn't know about us at all, and I told them a little bit about myself and passed out the business cards. I took their business cards and I asked if it's okay for me to reach out to them, send them reminders about what we offer and my personal contact information and had no resistance whatsoever. So planting
Nice.
seeds, planting seeds. Hopefully, the garden will produce some fruit in the future.
Awesome. That's all good stuff.
Yeah. And yesterday I went out to a couple open houses in Mesa. Uh, one agent was, I don't even, it wasn't even the listing agent. It was an assistant, somebody sitting in, pretty much told me that I'm not welcome. So I left. And then
Wow.
yeah. And then the other one, there was another one that I stopped in. She took my card. I took her card and, very short, nothing worthwhile, honestly, but I did it anyway. And then I ended up going to Peoria. I came back to Scottsdale. Then I went to Peoria for an open house in Peoria that somebody told me about. I went there and I was there for a good couple hours, sitting down and had about 7 or 8 people come in.
Nice. Awesome.
So I'm doing the legwork. I just need some fruit. That's all.
Did you get the contact info of the people that came in so that you can follow up with them?
Uh, 3 of them said no. The other ones, I do have contacts for 4 of them.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, whose iPhone without a camera on?
What's that?
iPhone? Oh, oh,
And unmute. Okay, iPhone, you need to like reveal yourself or I'm kicking you out, assuming you're like a Zoom bomber.
How could you do that to me?
Who is that?
Ned,
Ah, how are you?
I'm good, you?
Good. How come your box just says iPhone? You want to be incognito?
No, I don't know why every time I log into any Zoom, it switch me to iPhone. It's very weird.
Oh,
And I keep doing it. And even the customer service help back there changed it. And every time it goes back to iPhone.
oh,
I
weird.
don't
Jeff,
know
do you
what
have
to
a
do.
solution? Jeff looks like he's trying to unmute.
Might need to log into Zoom on your iPhone. Like I have to download a Zoom app on my iPhone and log into it. And so when I log in, it takes me in that way. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And
Oh,
then and we switched it to my name too many times. And every times we log out, log back into somewhere else, it comes back again to iPhone.
Mine does that with Jeff, and I have to go in and put in Jonas. It turns me back into Jeff every time I log into Zoom.
That's weird
weird.
what they do. Yeah. But I'm here.
Okay, I renamed you.
Okay, good. Keep me this way for now until we end here.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Thanks for logging in. I was actually on 10 minutes early today, thinking maybe someone would come in and shoot the shit. And then I realized I was on the wrong link. So I was by myself going, where is everyone? And then when I finally realized it was like 9 o'clock on the dot and Sam was like waiting. All right. Um, so most of you were not here last week, I think, right? Sam, were you the only one? Ardra, were you here last week?
There was a couple people.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's like same couple that's on now.
Yeah.
Like I think it's different people. I think Andy came on last week, and I think we had Jackie, and she told me this morning she was going to be on. I don't know where she is.
Yeah.
Um,
Come last week because they did that compliance thing, that marketing.
right. Maria had messaged me that you both were on that compliance thing. Okay. So I can back up and do a little, like try to do a fast review since Sam was the only one on last week. However, I do want to still like keep moving forward. So I do have a slideshow which we sort of stick to and sort of don't. And Nahed, I think this is your first time on. So let's see. I'm just gonna like I don't know. This is so weird going from a Dell to a Mac for a PowerPoint. I think yeah, slide only.
You're gonna hate it for a while, then once you get a grip of it, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, for the most part, I love that I can, because I have an iPad and iPhone. I love that I can copy things on my iPad and iPhone and paste it on the computer and vice versa. However, there's a lot of little nuances that I still have to figure out. Okay, so the very first week we talked about who makes a good referral partner, as in what types of industries. And these were some of the things that we talked about. Obviously, the given we all talk about, we all know about is realtors. Other mortgage lenders like Sam came from the banking atmosphere. Sam, actually, I talked to another loan originator, Lee I don't know if I'm saying his last name, Capola or something. He's in Jersey, and next a guy. We did a one-on-one yesterday, and he was telling me almost all of his business comes from bank loan originators, and he used to be at a bank. I want to say he was once at Bank of America or something. However, he said for all the years since he left the bank, he stayed in contact with all the bank LOs and he gets all their turndowns.
Well,
So
it's funny that you mentioned that. I had the lunch meeting today with a loan originator from Wells Fargo. I used to.
nice. Yeah, and they have to turn down a lot that we can do, you know. Um, and then he said he has three recruits, and two of his three recruits came from loan officers that got tired of giving him their business.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, right. I mean, it's a great, easy way to recruit. Like, you don't have to keep giving these to me, just do it yourself and make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one that we've talked about a few times when it comes to lawyers is divorce attorneys. We talked about financial planners. My only reverse mortgages came from financial planners, wedding planners, insurance agents, past clients, other business owners. And it's interesting that Jackie's not on here today because she texted me this morning about meeting with a title rep. Um, and so title reps can definitely connect you to more realtors for sure. Every once in a while, they might get a direct consumer deal for you. However, a lot of their connections would be through other realtors. Um, okay, and then, oh, and property managers. We have not spent a lot of time talking about property managers, which is interesting. However, property managers obviously don't want to encourage their people necessarily to buy because then they've got to fill the property space. However, their people are going to leave and buy regardless. And so if they can be a resource for those people, it just goes back to relationship building. And we've never actually spent any time talking about that. Then we talked about what qualities of people in those industries make a good referral partner. And I was looking for my notes earlier and I waited too long to look, but we said things like integrity and good character and loyalty. And we talked a lot about communication. And I had everybody take a look at themselves and question themselves honestly. And so if you weren't here last week, I recommend you still do this on your own time. Make a list of what you think, what qualities or actions make somebody a good referral partner to you. And then after you make that list, and it's usually a little better if you're not making the list, knowing what's coming. However, after you make the list, look at that list and ask yourself, is that me? Do I do that? And a lot of people talked about communicating and communicating what's happening throughout a deal. And we had a few people say, well, I gave a referral to somebody and like, I don't even know if the deal closed. And so I want you to think about when somebody gives you a referral, are you appreciating them from the very beginning? Are you thanking them? Are you maybe sending a thank you card? Are you showing action that shows an appreciation? And then are you doing the communication you would want if you gave somebody a referral? Like my thing always is, how would I feel if someone treated me the way I'm treating them, right? So if I said something like, and we're going to talk a little bit today about networking and how and where to go find these referral partners. And I will tell you, I'm very cognizant when I go to a networking event of wanting to behave in the way I want somebody to behave around me. Like, do I want to walk in and have somebody shove a card in my face? No. So I'm not going to do that either. Right? So think about how would you respond if someone did that for you? If you would like it, they're probably going to like it. If you would think it's obnoxious and annoying, they're going to think it's obnoxious and annoying. Don't do it. Right? So what for you are the qualities of a good referral partner? And then do you possess those qualities or act in the way that you want a referral partner to act to you? Loyalty was something said last week, and we talked about, well, I want them only to refer me. Okay, well, if somebody asks you for an insurance agent, are you referring only one or are you referring two or three? Do what you want others to do to you. It's that golden rule, right? And so we started talking, I think, a little bit, and this is about where we got cut off last week with consistency and follow up and follow through. So before we talk about where to find referral partners, I do want to talk a little bit about this. Like, what are you doing to follow through after you're meeting someone and asking them to become a referral partner? So this isn't like, and maybe I should reorder this. Maybe we should go, where do you find the people first and then put the follow through? But because we were talking last week about who makes a good referral partner and what are the qualities, like what are you doing to be consistent with those people and to follow through? If you, and I had a conversation with somebody about this at lunch Tuesday. It almost feels like it's a dying art when people give their word and stick to it. Like so many people nowadays make promises and their promises, and sometimes not even I promise kind of promise. It's just an, hey, I'll get that to you by the end of the day, or I'll get that to you tomorrow, or even just a solid, I'll get that to you. Like I always am a by when person. So if you're gonna make me a commitment, I want to know by when. Are you asking people by when? And are you following through when you give a commitment of, I will do this and you're by when? So let's open the floor for discussion real quick on what are you doing to be consistent with your follow up and follow through, and then I'll come back to where are you finding your people.
Usually what I do is when I do meet with people, whether it's lunch or cocktails or happy hour or whatever, uh, I'll ask them, may I send you a follow-up email giving you all my contact information, making it easier in a summary of what we talked about. And hopefully in the future, we'll be able to do something that benefits both of us. And I literally, uh, in my own personal calendar, not necessarily on the work calendar, but in my own personal calendar, I do blockouts where I block out certain times for a follow-up. I usually do that 2 or 3 times a day just to help, excuse me, just to help me to remind me that I need to call so-and-so today and so-and-so, about, our lunch or about our meeting. And like the people you asked me about that I met with yesterday at the open house in Peoria, I have all their business cards and their emails. Follow-ups will go out to them sometime today
Awesome.
in an email. And then probably early next week before I leave for Michigan, I'm going to do a follow-up call just to let them know that I'm here, that I will be out of town for a few days. But if you need anything, please feel free to give me a call.
Awesome. And after you met those realtors, have you already sent an email?
2 of them already went out this morning. I got 2 more to go.
Okay, cool. I do have an 8 touch in 2 week system that I will be showing. I'm not going to show right now. However, after you meet someone, I'm a huge believer of when you set an appointment or for an event or a one-on-one meeting, set in your calendar a follow-up appointment for yourself, especially after an event. If you go to an event and you're going to meet multiple people, like the open house or when you went to that real estate office and you met 8 people, within 24 hours, for sure, schedule an hour to do follow-up from the event. Minimum,
Sure.
at least an hour. If it's not phone calls, if it's like sending emails, searching for them on social media, sending social media messages or text messages. Okay, who else believes that you're consistent with working on gaining referral partners? And what are you doing to be consistent?
All right. So I'm working on becoming consistent because I'm the most inconsistent person with that. So I'm
You're not
actually
alone. Like, just so you know, it's very common to be like, it's more common to be inconsistent than it is to be consistent.
you guys so crazy. This is like the part that is most important about our job. Like whether it's with the buyer or the realtor or partner, so it's like so that's like the one thing I really want to focus on this year. So I as soon as I get done, I add them to my CRM and I put a task on there for myself to connect with them. I do want to get some business done, like postcards or like little thank you cards or nice to meet you cards. So maybe I can mail them out afterwards. But I know sometimes it's hard with real estate agents because they're not always at their post office box address, like on their business. So, but no, I just need to reach out and call and just say, nice to meet you. And sometimes I feel like so weird calling back. I don't know why, because I love meeting people and I love talking to people, but it's just that dynamic of why I'm calling. Sometimes I get a lost because although it feels like it's a sincere reach out, it feels like it's not, so sometimes I kind of struggle with, okay, how am I going to like approach this call? So what am I going to say? How I don't know. Sometimes I get stuck there. So sometimes I just have a hard time initiating that
Yeah,
call.
it doesn't have to be a call. I mean, it can, what'd you say?
Text or email too, right?
Yeah, or okay, so email I feel like are hit or miss these days. It could definitely be a text, or I'm gonna even challenge you one up because you're not afraid to get on camera. Do a
Yeah.
quick video and just a video of like, hey, it was great meeting you, like glad we talked about blah 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 blah, whatever. Make it 30 seconds or less and text the video.
Okay. Now, is it okay to like create a video on iPhone and text it like that? Because for a long time I used to use BombBomb. Do you think that there's like
Not to text. BombBomb is, I mean, it's good for email and to track the emails, but still, They got to click it in the email, then it's got to open to BombBomb. Like we get those. I don't know if you ever open them from Alexander, or
Yeah, they sometimes I don't because of that
oh.
extra, right? I think, yeah, I get it. If I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
send,
So if you're not clicking it from him,
yeah,
if people are, again, how you're behaving is how other people are. So how you receive it is how other people will receive it. So if
totally.
you're like, oh, I don't want to click on this and wait for it to open, and then it's a 10-second video, But if you take it real quick on your phone and it's like a real quick, like, hey, it was so great to meet you. I'm so happy we did that, blah, blah, blah. I usually do it about an hour to 2 hours later. And then I text right from my phone. My
Okay.
phone to their phone, quick video, quick text. Goes a long way.
Okay, good. I'll start practicing.
And then it's direct to them. And then you could delete it on your phone right after you text it. So you're not wasting the space in your phone either.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
That's good.
All right. Who else feels like you're being consistent? And what are you doing that keeps you consistent?
So I have different areas I meet people, so I have different areas and types of consistency for different situations. I locally from my local realtors, I go around to open houses in the area. I don't ask them for anything. I just go in, talk to them, try to leave an impression. But in continuing going around each weekend, they see me over and over. That's how I'm consistent in that area. Through this, I had one realtor come to me before Christmas wanting a HELOC. I had another one coming to me wanting a bank statement mortgage. So they're not sending their clients; they're coming to me personally first.
Nice.
That was really good. And then I met a high end realtor that I just kept visiting. Do you need any help? Can I help you with anything? The weather's bad. I'm from Michigan. I don't care. She's like, actually, I'm looking for a realtor to host this. I have a $500,000 house I got to get rid of open house this weekend. I said, I wouldn't mind hosting it. I know about houses. I'd be happy to go out there on Sunday from 1 to 3. And she's like, oh my God, thank you very much.
Be
So I,
careful not to talk about things that you have to be a licensed realtor
Right.
for.
Well, you
You don't
you know
want to
my
get sued.
videos. I stay away from trigger terms and specifics. I keep it
Yeah,
broad,
but do
general, and
you
beyond.
know the specifics of a licensed realtor? Because you
Oh
don't have
no,
that
no,
license.
no. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. They're gonna have to call her for that. For a licensed loan officer, different story.
Yeah, but you just offered to host the open house.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous realm to not be asked realtor questions and not answer them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're walking a fine line, so be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick more towards the area it's in I know real well, the school system, the construction of the house, because I used to build for two builders in
Again, do
the
you
area.
know that that is not unlicensed real estate realtor activity?
That's general information you can look up in the area. You don't have to, anybody can look up what city it's in, what the house on Zillow, how many
Well,
bedrooms, what year it
correct.
was built
However,
in.
there is things that is specifically falls in unlicensed real estate activity that can get you sued. You might want
Oh,
to know what falls in that category
well, then
to
I'll
make
be
sure you
studying.
stay away from it. You don't want to become an accidental realtor
Right.
and get in trouble for it.
Well, I'll do some studying between now and Sunday and get that
So if
nailed
it
down.
were me, if what I would do, and you don't have to do what I would do, but what I would do
Oh, no, I
is,
like what you would do.
okay,
I'm good
I'm
with
gonna
that.
I'm gonna keep myself safe and out of trouble, and I'm gonna build another relationship. So I'm gonna reach out to other realtors in her brokerage because some brokers have an issue with a realtor from another brokerage holding an open house. Some don't,
Get
some do.
it?
But until you know if they do or don't, find the other realtors and get her permission first, but then call every realtor in her brokerage and say, "Hi, I'm Jeff, a loan originator with Nexa. I'm looking to host this listing open for whatever the listing agent's name is. Would you like to host an open house with me?" Now that realtor can get the buyer, you get a new realtor relationship, and your ass is covered.
Ah, I love your ideas. But she is high end too, so I want to be in there because she's closed 4 times since the beginning of December, and they've all been jumbos.
So I would call her as soon as you log off of the Zoom and say, "Hey, is it okay with you if I go through the and I can help you if you don't have a way to access it through MMI. We could look for the realtors in her office.
Yeah.
The website, some broker websites have all the realtors listed. So you just got to know where to get the information and then just start calling down the list. And then, she feels like she's getting help. Your ass is covered. You build, I mean, call her as soon as we hang up. Cover your ass.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm all about covering ass. I come from a military family. That's like step one.
Perfect.
And then I went
And so
over.
wait, from the military family, they're either covering their ass or they're beating someone's ass.
Yeah, yeah. I took it a few times growing up. I was a bit stubborn and bullheaded, but um then I went to the we have a local builder in the area. And everybody's like, yeah, builders have their own lenders. You don't need to mess with them, da da da. But I have my own brain. So
If
I
it's a
went,
small builder too,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely go. When people say that, they're talking about the giant commercial builder.
Okay. Yep. Though I went in there and he's like, "What brings you in today?" I said, "Well, actually, I'm an MLO." And he goes, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "I used to write the mortgages for these houses." He goes, "But I don't do it no more. Come in here and sit down. I'll give you the lowdown." And
Nice.
he said, "We have this, this, and this. If you can meet it or beat it, welcome aboard. If not, then we can offer better. That's just business." And but if you meet it or beat it, we're nobody's saying a word. Come on. So I'm going to do that with a couple other ones in the area. But anyway,
So
in
wait, let's
keeping,
go back to follow up. So what are you
that's
doing to
where, yeah, I was
follow
going
up with
back to
that person?
follow ups. So I do the weekly video with my iPhone. You
No,
know
no,
that.
let's talk specifically about this builder. How long ago did you go in and what have you done for following up to
Oh, I just met him Sunday and today's my follow up day.
Okay, so what are you doing
I
today?
make I make the video like we were talking about and say, "Hey, I'm Jeff Jonas,
Okay.
mortgage loan officer," and then I'll have a either mortgage myth buster as something, something catchy about mortgages and this and that. Don't forget, I'm here if you need any help or need anything. I'm always around. And then I say 7 times out of 10, they at least respond or react to them. I've been
Okay,
doing it since September, and only one person said, "Stop texting me these."
okay. Here's what I would do though with that builder is let's get more personal and more specific.
Yeah,
Because what you just said was generic. And so that
yeah,
could go to anyone. Let's be specific about the meeting you had with him.
right.
So he already did give you parameters of what they're offering
Yeah,
people,
yep.
right?
In
Okay.
writing.
So did you go to your university coach and say, "What do we have that can beat this?"
He's out of town on his 10th anniversary.
Okay, so go to a different university coach. You
Yeah.
could go to any one of them. Go log in today and talk to Doug or Karen
I
or
really
not
like
Karen,
Mark
Kristen.
Hayden and
Log in, talk to Mark. I don't care who. Don't waste time. It's
yeah,
you got 24 hours. Make an impression. So go get details, go get the information on our construction loans, and maybe start calling construction loan AEs, construction lender
yeah,
AEs today. Build relationships there. Within 24 hours, I recommend you get back to that. And if you have no information, you let him know. "Hey, I heard what you said. And I reached out to this lender, this lender, this lender today. I'm still gathering information, but I want you to know I'm not taking this lightly. I heard what you said, and here's what I'm doing. I will get back to you when I have more information." And then you
Perfect.
keep going. And then when you have more info, and then you set an appointment for like coffee or something, you sit down. And I don't know if you were on when we talked about, it might have been last week, how to teach people how to refer you. So when you get to the point
No, I
where
missed
you
it.
know you can beat what he does, now you're having a conversation and you're asking him, how do you normally refer people to a lender? This is the best way to refer to me as a loan officer. And you teach him how you want to be referred. So let's go deeper into this, right? But I would also send a thank you card. I mean, because a builder could be a big deal. That
Oh,
is
it is. They're
ongoing business.
growing.
You cannot treat them generic. You've got to, because especially you had a specific conversation. So your
Yes.
follow-up is specific to that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I would, one, start gathering information today. Two, reach out to him by the end of the day, share anything you've gathered, or make sure he knows you're gathering and you're still working on it. But some sort of touch point. Some people think no news is good news. That's bullshit. Even if there's
Yeah.
no news, you give the news that there is no news because it goes back to how people want communication. So you
Yeah.
over communicate till they're like, I'm sick of hearing your voice. Don't call me anymore if you got nothing to say. And nobody will ever say that. They're still
Right.
excited to hear your voice. So you give
Yeah.
them the news, even if it's no news. Then, when you have more information, you follow back up, you set another appointment. You maybe send a thank you card. You find their social media if you haven't already done it. The
No,
builder's
I look.
business social media. What?
You know, I'm all on the social media.
Yeah. And
That's
you
the first
stalk
thing I
them on
do.
social and you
Yeah.
ask them directly, ask them to follow you back in a
Yep.
messenger. Use messenger, right? And
I'll
whether
send them a link.
yeah, and so, and then so eight touch, this is a type of person that eight touches in 2 weeks is going to be crucial, right? Now,
Okay.
you and you get with me also, and let's create marketing pieces. So
Let's do it.
you talk to them about, if it's a one-off person that needs a headshot, whatever, but you get me their logo. We could get it online even. We pull down their logo and we make flyers with you on it. Now you go back with those two and you ask them if you could leave them in their office. Let's create
Yep.
a whole marketing game plan here.
Oh yeah, I got into there's a Howard Hanna in town and they are so fun. There's about 8 of them in there. So what I did is I started hit instead of going into the
What is
main
a
office.
Howard Hanna? Is that a real estate company? We don't have that
Yeah,
here.
real estate brokers.
Okay, we don't have
Like
that
said,
brand in Arizona that I know
yeah,
of.
they're like small town. They're a little bit funner, but for a small town, they have like 8 or 10 realtors in there. So I would go to each one's open house and take a little thing of muffins in my flyer. And how's business going? I just wanted to check on you and see how things are going. By the time I went to the fourth one, I've heard all about you at the office. You're the muffin guy. You know what I mean? So I'm in their heads before I even step into the office.
Okay, so
Then I
I'm
go
also
in,
going to back up, Jeff, to something you said earlier. You said I go into the open houses and I never ask for anything. You also missed this last week.
not when I first meet them.
Okay, well,
Oh,
but you're talking now, you have a reputation. So when you have a reputation, you have a right to ask. And this guy, I talked last week, and he has two books. So I don't know if it's in this book or another one, but his name is Van Deeb. He actually has a few good points, but he owned the largest Nebraska real estate brokerage. And he makes fun of what realtors would call affiliates, and we're an affiliate, title reps, home
yeah.
warranty, loan officers. And he makes fun of one who comes to the office with things like muffins, donuts, and doesn't ask for business. So, but it's not about that she's bringing it, it's that she never asked for business. And they started tallying how many times she came in
Oh,
and
I
didn't
do,
have
just
business,
not in the,
and they made it a game about
I
and
do, just
in
not
my
in the
opinion it
first
was
meeting.
mean, right? But know that realtors
Yeah.
might be doing that behind it. So start asking. And maybe it's not for business every
Yeah.
time. It might be, hey, I noticed you're not following me on Facebook and I'm following you. Would you start following me back? There's a small ask. You get little
Yeah, a lot
small
of,
asks that lead up to the bigger ask. But don't be afraid, because if you're not
oh no.
asking, it shows fear. And I know you don't really show up as a fearful person, but not asking makes people lose confidence in you.
Well,
Good
that and
sales, hold on,
after,
hold on. I gotta finish my soapbox.
okay, okay.
Good salespeople like other good salespeople, and a good salesperson's going to ask. And if you don't ask for the business from a good salesperson, you're going to lose respect often. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
off my soapbox. Go.
Okay. So as I go into my continual meeting them, I do ask, but I also base a lot of on vibes and how receptive they are. Some people will, okay, thank you, you right out the front door. They're not receptive. But if they want to sit down and have a half hour, 45-minute conversation, I do that. And then, these are the people I'm going to work. Now, I'm going to talk to the non-receptive people. I'm going to still reach out to them. But the more receptive people how would you say, build forward, advance? Like, is this going anywhere?
Yeah, I
Consideration and
mean, you want to work with
communication.
people that want to work with you, and you don't want to work with assholes. So if they're
Oh,
not
well, I'll
receptive
work
and they're
with an asshole
assholes.
if it's going somewhere. I can do
So
that.
yes, read the
I came
room.
from construction. I've been treated like an asshole my whole life.
That's
We're cool with
funny. So
that.
absolutely read the room, and yes, in appropriate moments. And if you said, I'm going every week and I'm consistent with it,
Yeah,
then you build up the right to ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't shy
yeah,
away from the ask.
yep, yeah. And then a couple visits and hey, hi, I'm Jeff. I say, hey, how's it going? How's it going? How's things been treating you? It's more of a friendly conversation than it is a awkward introduction.
So
Build
last
in.
week also, Andy talked about the story in my book where I went, I think it was like a whole year, and I didn't ask. And I was doing event with a loan originator. I was a title rep, and I never got any business from him. And I didn't even realize I was doing so much with him that I was like, it didn't hit me and it didn't hit him. And my boss had to come to me and say, you have to stop doing things with Marlo because he's not giving us business. And I was like, what? And then I went to his office that day. I said, Marlo, you've never sent me a deal. I can't do any more lunch and learns with you. And that
Yeah.
day, I got a deal from him. He was like, what? We never sent you anything? Because he was letting his LOA choose the title company. And
Oh,
he never flat out told the LOA, send a deal to
use
Alicia.
Alicia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wasn't flat out asking. And I would go into the office, socialize with both of them. I was doing lunch and learns with all sorts of stuff. So, like, and I know at one point, Jeff, you were reading my book. I don't know if you finished. I don't know if you remember that story, but you can learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna learn. I am definitely the one that will watch 3 or 4 people do it first and then give it a shot. Yeah.
You don't have to make the same mistakes I made. They're in my book. Go learn from them.
Now, now, don't get me wrong. I am the same person that will make the same mistake 3 or 4 times just to be sure on accident. But it sticks. That's always been me.
That's funny. Okay, let's come back in here. Oh, where did it go? Yikes, did it? Okay, yeah, so I'm not clear about this Mac, and obviously somehow I closed the PowerPoint. But let's come back here. Let's talk about where do we go to find the people? Now, obviously, realtors, like we said, they're a given. And most of us know where to find realtors. However, and we could start with realtors because they're the low hanging fruit. And then I want to go to beyond realtors to the list, that we talked here. Like, where do we go to find these other people? But let's first take a minute and let's talk about the realtors. Obviously, we've been talking about open houses. And Sam talked about going into a real estate office last week. And he talked to, I think he said 14 realtors. Now, real estate offices often nowadays are ghost towns unless there's a scheduled meeting. And Sam went to a scheduled meeting. However, you know, how do you get to those scheduled meetings? We could talk about that. And how else do you find realtors outside of open houses and outside of their office? Because when I first started working in magazine ad sales for the real estate books, that's when the internet started exploding and agents stopped going to offices. And I had to get so creative to bring the agents to me because I would go into offices that were empty. There would be an office manager at the desk and maybe the broker, maybe not, and everybody else was at home, right? And so, gone are the days of realtors sitting in offices making calls, except for some reason, Keller Williams offices, a lot of them still rent out office space. However, there's not people just like sitting in what they used to call the bullpen anymore, right? So let's real quick talk about where else are you going when it comes to realtors, and then we'll move on to the other industries. There is one that I feel like it was a given. And when Nexa Fest used to have breakout sessions, and I taught a breakout session on some of this stuff, not only how to find the realtors, but also, again, like how to build relationships with them. And it shocked me, and I will say it never ceases to shock me because I talked to a brand new loan officer also last week that I was working on recruiting, who was licensed at another company for 6 months, and nobody at that company ever told him this. How many of you know in your local area there is a realtor association that you can become a member of?
I'm a member of Dayton Realtor Association.
Awesome. I think we
I
talked
found out
about
from
it
a fellow
actually.
Texan.
Okay, good.
Yep, we did. Yep.
So it is shocking to me how many people don't realize there are realtor associations that non-realtors could join. It is the same thing with financial planners and tax preparers and CPAs. They all have their own organizations and associations, and anyone could join them. Like a joining type industry. Now, I said earlier, we are called affiliates in realtors' minds, and I'm always attempting to get them to shift that mindset to say partner versus affiliate. But when you join many of the organizations, you are an affiliate member. When I taught this at NexaFest, it was shocking how many people didn't even know they could be a member and that joined while sitting in the room that day. And all of your realtor associations are as good as you make them. You could be a member and attend nothing and get no value out of it and waste your money. Or you could pay attention to the calendar and go to all their events and participate and sponsor events and sponsor classes and sit in classes and hang out with people on the breaks. Biggest mistake ever, an affiliate sponsors a class, does their 2-minute pitch at the beginning of the class, and walks out of the room. You lost your opportunity to network on the breaks. CE classes are often 2 or 3 hours, and they get a break an hour. Be there on the breaks. The other second biggest mistake, loan officers that show up to give their 2-minute pitch about when the class is starting. You show up 30 minutes early, greet people as they walk in the door, have conversations before the class starts, network, connect, meet people, go to the events, go to the classes. I don't care if it's a happy hour social event or a class. The associations do it all. They have social events, they have classes, they have home tours. Go to the home tours. Some places call them caravans. Some places call them, they have different names in different locations. Caravans, home tours, realtor tour, broker open. trying to think of other names I've heard.
We just had Green County Home Show.
Home show is different. That's usually in like one location with booths and you walk up and down the aisles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What I'm talking about is when you go with the realtors from listing to listing to listing.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And they give each other feedback on their listings. They give feedback that can go back to the seller. Usually you do anywhere between 5 to 8 homes on a tour or a
I've never
broker
even
like
heard
this.
of it.
Huh?
I've never even heard of it.
Look on your association's website. I
Okay.
guarantee they're probably doing a tour. And if they're not, talk to your title rep because the title rep might be doing private tours. And if they're not, it will shock me and I will help you create one and you will be the hero of your local area.
Perfect. Thank
So
you.
the value of those for realtors is they get to learn the industry, what's on the market, but very often listing agents struggle to get the sellers to hear them. And when they get the same feedback from 5 other agents in writing on a tour sheet that they can hand the seller will finally cave and listen. Maybe it's lowering price, maybe it's cleaning up, maybe it's getting rid of a smell, maybe it's painting neutral colors, maybe it's decluttering. Like there's so many different things and there's so much value. But now if you organize it and you put it together, now you are the value for the realtors because they got to. Now, a newer thing since COVID too is doing virtual home tours in an office. So the realtors all come in with videos and pictures, and they all sit in an office and they show their listing on a screen. That's a new, weird, different thing. I think it's less value to the realtors and the sellers, but people are getting realtors in a room to do it. So this could be a whole session another time of things that we can do for realtors to gather realtors together. But how else are you connecting with people? Like what, I mean, is there something about realtors we have not yet talked about in a way that you can go meet realtors? Because we could do a whole hour on events you can create to bring realtors to you. And home tours is one of them.
Oh no. I host like a once a month real estate group meeting, and I kind of do what you do.
So that's back to what I'm saying, bringing realtors to you. And I'm saying I think we should do a whole hour on
Okay.
events and things that you can create that will bring realtors to you. Now I'm talking about where can you go that realtors will be
Mm.
outside of their office, the association, or open houses.
Well, they have a lot of networking things here in Scottsdale, I notice. Uh,
How are
specific,
you finding them?
they're like on Facebook. I haven't gone, but I see like a lot of likes of people that are mortgage lenders, real estate agents going to those. So I've been meaning to like check one out. I think I meet a lot of real estate agents and even mortgage lenders there.
So let's talk real quick about that because a lot of people don't know this exists. So the first thing Ardra said was they're on Facebook. So realtors, although not a lot of loan officers like to hang out on Facebook, realtors like to hang out on Facebook. So go fishing where your fish are. When you go on Facebook, you can click on the events tab on the left when you're on your home screen. And this actually, Ardra, believe it or not, is the very first thing I started doing when I worked at the real estate book to find events, to find realtors. I friended realtors on Facebook first, and then I was like, okay, I want to meet them in person besides one-on-one, and I found the events tab. And in this events tab, you can search, you can look first for your events, those are things you were invited to, discover events. They used to have a tab and maybe they got rid of it That was events your friends are attending. That is how I found the first events to go to. I friended realtors and then I saw the events the friends were attending. And then I started going to them. So when I go down here, okay, going, invited, interested, hosting, past events. So I guess they don't have ones my friends are going to anymore. Um, so now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to search events. And look, you can tell I've done it before. It's still here, real estate. Type in search real estate events, or you can search business networking, real estate networking. And this is where you could find your events. So AI Edge for real estate, simple real estate launch party. Oh my God, like that, it's a party. Hello, it's gonna be pretty open, I bet. It's not like where this looks like it might be a specific class with specific sponsors. There might be a mortgage sponsor. I'm gonna look at the party first. And this is Friday. So look it's even a Friday, it's a party. Like, let's look at what is it. Now I'm going to look at the about and I'm going to look at the discussion. And the about really doesn't say anything more than here, simple real estate. 12 o'clock, here's the building. 7 people responded. Who are they? I'm going to see who I know. Oh, I guess Shiloh's the only one I know. Because it would show other people that I know. But there's the address. Here, please join us for our launch party. This is probably a new real estate office. You guys, the first event I went to was a new real estate company doing an open house. And there was an influencer in the industry who and Ardra, you know her, Susie Lavenda. We were friends on Facebook. I didn't know her in person yet. I went to that real estate company's open house, like a launch party, and I heard her behind me introducing herself to someone. And I turned around and I looked at her and I went, "Oh my God, I know you. We're Facebook friends." She made fun of me for saying that for like 10 years. But then from that one meeting, because I friended her on Facebook first, then I went to the meeting and then I met her, she introduced me to, I can't even tell you how many people. We started doing events together. Mike and I did events together with her, all because I went on Facebook, friended her, then found an event that she was, that like this, that was a public event. Then I was like, "Oh my God, I know you." And then I had somebody to talk to, and then I met more realtors that way and kept going. So can you go on Facebook? I'm going to go right back here. If you didn't see how I got there, go on your home screen, come to the left-hand side, click events, type in real estate, and find something. Like here's another Realty One Group grand opening. That's another real estate office grand opening. Get your ass there. So, like, Ardra, I don't know if you're still in the West Valley or whatever, but Goodyear, like, go check it out, right?
Yeah, definitely gonna put it on my calendar for sure.
Yeah. So, and I actually was invited. So, Leah Kramer invited me. I'm gonna put interested so it pops up for me again. But then here's the other thing, you guys, if you need people to meet, when I look at like who's going at the this one, it looks like it's hidden. But let me go back to that other one when it showed who was invited and stuff. Whoops, where'd it go? Okay, let me go back here to real estate networking. Here's the launch party. It showed people that were invited. Some of them do, some of them don't. Oh no, maybe it was just go with friends. But if I can see, yeah, it's not showing. But this was a way, sometimes when it showed, this was a way I would find people to click to friend. So I would meet them in person, I would meet them on social media. I started on social media and then I just started going to events and meeting other people. And so other places to find events. Um, if you look at this, see here, it's on Eventbrite. You could also go to Eventbrite, search events. So come in here and look for real estate related events on Eventbrite. I know a lot of people don't even know Eventbrite exists. It's eventbrite.com, and they will show events all over the country, right? So here's things. This is in Phoenix, small business, whatever. Like, so I could look for business things. I could look for this week or pick a date next month. And then I'm just, I'm searching free, a class, a party, whatever, real estate investors training. Go get some DSCR loans, right? Like, and it's free. So who cares if you really want to get investor training? Go sit and meet the investors. Like again, go fishing where your fish are, right? That is the thing we forget. Like sometimes we look at this and we're like, well, I don't need real estate investor training. I don't want to become an investor. Who the hell cares? You want to meet investors? Like, it doesn't matter what they're trading. Go sit by their side. Meet the investors, meet the realtors. Go to a realtor class. Who cares what they're trading the realtors on? Hang out with the fish you want to catch. Go fishing where the fish are. Your fish are the realtors, the investors, whatever else it is. Join the associations, find the networking events. There are plenty that are, it's time or money when you're building your business. And if you don't have the money right now, put in the time by going to the events. Go meet your people. All right, I'm going to shut up. Anyone have anything you want to add to that? Oh, and another website I didn't say. So we said Facebook, we said Eventbrite, meetup.com is another one. You could do the same thing. Go to meetup.com, create an account, and do the same search. Those are the three where I find the most events: Eventbrite, Facebook, and Meetup. Anyone else have a place where you can go to find realtors or other business people or anyone on that list that we looked at?
Only other thing I would suggest is, take part in business forums, all types of business forums. Professionals, whether they're lawyers, doctors, business owners, any type of business forum, and don't be afraid to ask. Do you have a social event coming up? I'm going to give you an example, Alicia, of something that you would know about very well out here. The real estate office that I went to last week, I asked them, you guys have any social events coming up that I can take part in? I invited myself. And
Perfect.
you know what one of them told me? What are you doing this coming Saturday? And I said, tell me what's going on. They're at the bird's nest at the waste management.
Nice.
The entire office is at the waste management bird's nest. Guess who's going to the bird's nest?
I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like it goes back to what I said to Jeff, right? Don't be afraid of the ask. And really, Sam, you didn't invite yourself. You asked, is there an event? Now they invited you to the event, right? Because
Exactly.
you didn't say, hey, I heard you're going to the Bird's Nest. Can I come? No, you said, do you guys have anything? And they're like, yeah, join us, right? So never be afraid of the ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So don't be afraid of the ask. Okay, next week, and I feel like I talked a little bit too much this week, but I got a little passionate on some of the things that we were talking about. So next week I want to shut up more. Um, but I'm gonna say, so next week, I want to talk a little bit more about, we talked about finding events, going to events, right? And Sam, some of those forums, like there's online forums all over the place. Like Facebook has them, LinkedIn has them, like you can find things everywhere, right? But we're going to talk more next week about how to participate in them and or how to create them, right? We're going to talk about different types of networking groups and events that you can go to. Like Sam just said, social. I kind of looked online. I found social, but I want to talk a little more in depth. So we're going to start going down this list tomorrow about how you can do it, what you can do. And Ardra, maybe next week, or maybe we'll do a whole hour on how to draw people to you. Let's talk about how you created your group. And your group meets what, monthly, right?
Yes, once a month.
Yeah, awesome. So,
Once a month. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was just going to say thank you guys for logging in. It is 10 o'clock, and I promise we will be only an hour every week. So I appreciate you being here. If I rambled too much, I apologize, but I got all passionate today. And if you need me, you know where to find me. I am here for you guys. Pick my brain at any time. And if you found value this week, share it with somebody else in the downline and let them know to maybe log on next week. And remember, we have our mastermind tomorrow. That isn't so, this is a narrow focus of building relationships. Tomorrow, we have a great guest speaker for a product, actually. I'm going to throw it out there real quick. It might take us to 10:01. I was so impressed by this product. They have, years ago, I used a geocaching product where I could put this little thing on like an open house sign, and people driving by could get a notification on their phone about the open house. But this one, actually, believe it or not, it's not a device that you have to buy. It doesn't even matter. Like, AI technology is so smart. If any of your past clients or somebody you put in the system walks into an open house, it knows, and it will alert you when your people are looking at open houses, and it will alert you of the open house they went to and the demographics of that house, the price point, all that shit. And so they actually called me because one of my past buyers was going into open houses. Luckily, I knew that, but I was like, how did you know that? I was amazed. And the price point of this is very reasonable. And that is one small piece of everything they do. They have like the email drips, just like my home IQ, and they have flyers and they have all these other things. But the thing that made me go, I want you to talk to my people, is this technology to know when people are walking into open houses that are in your database. Jaw dropping to me. So come on, even if it's just to hear the guest speaker, and especially if you have funds in your growth and marketing ledger. And if you don't, I still want you to know about the product. So when you have funds in your growth and marketing ledger, you might want to look at this product. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Thank you for logging in. Bye.